It's the lunchtime rush at Bel Brio, an Italian restaurant that does a good fancy lunch. But now it wants office workers to know it can also do cheap, quick bites.
What we realised after being here for 2.5 years, and we were one of the first to open here, was that the majority of the customers are on a budget. And they really don't want to spend $50 every single day on lunch and dinner. And especially have to pay for travels to come into the city. They're on an average salary, like every Australian is. And we sort of want to still pass on the quality of product and the sustainability aspect of our product and the freshness. And so what we decided to do is we want to launch a under $10 lunch. So everyone could get a piece of Bel Brio. So we're able to cater for it. But the main thing that we want to do is we believe that customer is very time poor because they've literally only got 1 hour lunch. So if you're an executive, you could go out for 2-3 hours, no one's going to ask you any questions. If you're a secretary, sir, you have to be back within the hour or they're marking your ticks on your next promotion. So everyone's very time poor when it comes to their lunch breaks. And they're on a budget. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to accommodate for that demographic pretty much, and they fit the majority of the people in Barangaroo. So by launching the $10 lunch, we know that we could get a lot of customers through the marketplace, but how we want to benefit them so it's easy for them is to provide a click and collect service. So while they're at their desk, they could cheaply hop onto a computer, order their lunch, and then they know it's going to be ready within 10 or 15 minutes, which they set the time. Then by the time they're down here, they just grab their lunch and they actually spend 1 hour outside in fresh air.
Sounds like the perfect lunch hour to me. So Nick Wilson from Netregistry is visiting Bel Brio to advise on how best to use its existing digital presence to lure a larger lunchtime crowd.
I've had a look at your website. It's really nice. It's a really good brochure website. It says who you are. It says that you source your food organically. You know, it tells people about your business. But I think if you're looking to do click and collect, then it's a slightly different website that you're going to need.
How do I go about creating a click and collect service for our customers?
Click and collect's really simple. The best thing to do is just think of it as another shipment method. So it's another way of e-commerce, effectively. So the first thing to do is to look at your website and say it has to become e-commerce. So it's very simple to do. If it's a WordPress website, there's a host of plugins that you can do that just add that e-commerce functionality to your website. It adds the shopping cart, it adds the payment gateway. It's all there, shrink-wrapped. It's really easy to do. The most important thing to do when you're thinking about the website is to think about what role that website has to play in making sure that your business is successful. So really thinking about who your customers are, thinking about the products that you want to sell, thinking about what role that website has to play. So click and collect's fantastic because what it does do is it helps differentiate yourself from competitors if they're not doing it. It's become the fastest growth area of e-commerce and online sales. You know, in the UK last year, more than 50% of online shoppers use click and collect. So it's well accepted. And the other great thing about it is that it integrates really easily with the other technology that you have. If you're using Xero for the back end or you're using MYOB, so it integrates automatically with your accounting software, so it makes it really, really easy. And it also integrates with your point of sale so that you can have one seamless system that takes payments and it takes it all the way from payment through to actually reconciling that and accounting for it.
Is this something that I could easily manage myself?
Click and collect isn't complicated. You can manage it yourself. I think the question that I always ask people is be honest with yourself. Do you know enough? Do you know how to do it? And the second one is, do you have the time to do it? You know, it takes time. If you're busy, you're working all hours of the day and night. If you have family, do you really have the time to be able to invest to get the right solution for your business and to get the right outcome for your business? How digitally savvy are you?
Well, I used to think I was a genius, but then knowing technology advances at 100 years a minute, what I knew 2-3 years ago and what I know now is like I know nothing in a way. So now, as of today, I think I know nothing. It's very, very minimal.
Mark Richardson is passionate about food. His business, Bel Brio, prides itself on creating fresh, organic dishes for not only a sit-down lunch, but also a quick bite.
Well, our customer is very diversified, so you could spend $110 per head in the venue, or you could spend $8 for a sandwich. So we've got fine dining, where an executive would want to host for his clientele in our venue. Or then you have the bar, where you have pizza, pasta, where that's sort of the average spend. So if you don't want to go all out, but you want to sort of spend in the middle parameters of your spending, or you could go into our marketplace and buy a sandwich or a takeaway pasta or a takeaway pizza for under $10. So our customer is very, very diversified. So we're just from every angle, we've got something for everyone pretty much in Bel Brio.
Mark is obviously a passionate business owner, but when it comes to the digital side of things, the setup of click and collect model has him a little overwhelmed.
How does that make you feel when it comes to running your business online?
We're very uncomfortable because when you have a great product, unfortunately, just having a great product these days isn't sufficient enough. So you're in competition with the world. It's the World Wide Web. And you need to be able to promote yourself better than everyone else. So these days, it's not about how good you are, but it's about how much presence you have online. And unfortunately, I found that out the hard way. So after 2.5 years of trying to offer the best, you see competitors that are offering so much worse for the same price value, getting more customers. And the reason they're getting more customers is because they could make their website look sexy and they pass the message better on Facebook and they've got a better customer engagement online and their online presence is so much better than what ours is. And so what it turns out is it doesn't matter how good or how great you are or whether you're welcoming people into your own home, if people don't know that or you can't pass the message across, then it's not good enough anymore.
You have to offer more services online because that's where your customers are. The majority of research starts through a search engine. People need to be able to find your business if they're going to buy from you. And if they don't know that you exist, they can't buy from you. So in order to make sure that they can find your business, they can make the right decision, they can make the right purchase for them, you have to be online. It's simple.
What about marketing it? What's the best way to go about that?
To market click and collect, just picking another shipment method for e-commerce. So you have to make sure that your website has e-commerce functionality. There's WordPress, there's a host of add-ons. If you're using Squarespace or using Netregistry or using any popular website, it's very easy to get that functionality on board. What we would say is that if you're going to market click and collect, the first thing I always advise people to do is to go to Google Analytics. Really understand the traffic around your site. What pages are people visiting and what sources are they coming from? What channels are they coming from? Are they coming from Facebook? Are they coming through Google? Are they coming from Instagram, from Pinterest? Once you've got that, then we advise people put click and collect front and center on your website. Make sure that it's there on your homepage where you get most traffic. People that are looking for click and collect will see it instantly, and then it's a simple click all the way through to purchase. And if they didn't know about it, it's a really good way of letting people know that you have click and collect in your business. Second thing I would do is think about having a dedicated page for click and collect, really explaining the process and how that process works. If I was a customer, what do I have to do to place an order? How long will it take for that order to be ready? And then where do I go and pick that order up? Make it as simple for the customer as possible.
Also, promote it in store and always make sure you have a dedicated pickup point. If you think click and collect could work for your small business, remember what Nick said. It integrates with other back-end software like Xero or MYOB. It also integrates with your point of sale, so it can make for a smooth transaction. And it's the way of the future. Last year in the UK, half of online shoppers used click and collect.